Before the white man came to Africa, Africans have always judged their cases themselves. In communities, in towns, in villages, they sit down together in the village square to judge serious issues. And that is why nobody complains when the African community judges them. There is no bias, there is no corruption. But since the white man came and left us with democracy, it has been infested by corruption. And this is evidenced by a lot of injustice happening in the courts, of course, which has turned into shrines of injustice. People go into the courts, instead of getting justice and being happy, they end up coming out worse off than they were before they got to the court. And that is why we still rely on public opinion, on voices of the Africans on the streets. They are the ones that will still tell you the truth on issues concerning yourself, issues concerning society. And they have come out to speak about Nnamdi Kanu's trial, conviction, and sentencing. These are voices from Diaspora who were interviewed one-on-one on the streets, and they spoke their minds unbiased, just like the way Africans come out in the village square to also lend their voice in the justice administration of persons back in the olden days. Yesterday, I did a video about this, but somehow there was an audio technical clash, a glitch, and somehow I saw the complaints, and I promised to bring that video back for you for your consumption. And I hope you enjoy it as I give it to you hot and steamy. Whatever you're doing, please go and finish it up and come back and focus on this video, or just focus on this video and leave it, because you don't want to miss a word that they spoke. After that, I will still give you some reactions of Biafrans as concerning Nnamdi Kanu's sentencing. This is a video that contains the opinions, unbiased opinions of Nigerians living abroad. Opinions that they formed even after listening to the accusations of murder, of torture, of violence that the judge said on live camera about Nnamdi Kanu. Africans were still able to decipher and to pick out those words till judge Nnamdi Kanu the proper way. I am proud to be African, and so should you. Watch this video.
How do you feel about the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu? Do you think it was a fair verdict, or do you think they would have been lenient in some sort of way?
To be honest with you, when I saw this news here, I was devastated. I cannot picture what he has done to deserve that kind of sentencing. It's not as if they caught this guy with weapons or something like that. Even the way they brought him back to Nigeria, it was uncalled for.
Do you think it was a fair verdict?
The injustice was very present in Nnamdi Kanu's case. The way he was abducted, wrongfully convicted, Justice Omotosho ignored. It was quite shocking. People have done 10 times worse. Even our former President Buhari violently said that Nigeria will go on flame, blood will spill. Nobody asked him any questions. The government of Buhari judge that government. That man wrecked that country.
The sentencing was very, very harsh. Yeah, Nigeria being Nigeria, the conspiracy was just way too high. Definitely, everybody can see what's happening. It's just sad.
I feel so sad. I feel like crying. They made my day so bad. It wasn't a good one. The judge didn't do well. Omotosho, you didn't do well. They just concluded, because giving somebody that is innocent life, it doesn't sound well.
The verdict the judge read was something that was given to him. He didn't prepare it because he wasn't even reading it clearly.
There's not freedom of speech in Nigeria, and it's a very big problem today.
Absolutely.
If anyone speaks out, then you are in trouble. It's either they get you or jail you, and that's what they've done to him.
Some people believe that the outcome would have been entirely different if he was from another tribe. Do you believe this or not?
I think so, to some extent, and this is what Nnamdi Kanu have been saying for a very, very long time. The tribalism in Nigeria is just way too much.
Yeah, because he's an Igbo man, that's why they sentenced him to life. So that's the problem we're facing.
Yeah, because they know the force he has. He seems to be the lion, amongst others. So what they've done is cut off the head of that, taking the crown off the king.
Yeah.
So they know the others, they can easily deal with those ones. They don't have as much balls, compared to Kanu.
What exactly was the crime he committed in the first place that warranted his arrest?
To me, there's no crime he committed. He went to Kenya. They kidnapped him in Kenya and brought him to Nigeria. And since then, they've been maltreating him up to today.
This was something he said with his mouth. It was just only
Verbal.
spoken.
Was verbal,
It was
yeah.
verbal. So me, I don't really know what else they are not telling us. Unless there's something they're not telling us. But if it's just for spoken words, you cannot give a man's life in prison just for spoken words.
Regardless of anything, even though he was responsible for that,
Yeah.
but life for him is
Preposterous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Instead of the president to address the major issue in the country, he decided to use this Nnamdi Kanu to cause a lot of distraction.
What is one thing you want to say now to Nigerians watching the justice system fall apart?
It's not even about justice, it's about security. Our Taiwan Southwest is coming to us because we're turning a blind eye, we're turning a deaf ear because it's happening. Multi-day South turn. After Ilorin is Osogbo. After Osogbo is Ibadan. After Ibadan,
Lagos.
Otideko.
Yeah.
God continue to keep us safe.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir.
And that is the proper way to judge someone. You judge a person by listening, by observing, and not by emotions, like the way Omotosho did. Omotosho is a product of the white man's, judiciary, wearing white wig and black and paying obeisance to the executive. Definitely, this style of justice system was brought in by the white man to checkmate people, to checkmate Africans, knowing very well that it does not belong to the people, it belongs to the government. Any justice system that does not belong to the people is fake, is a fraud, and can be hijacked at every moment, as seen in Africa. It was this same African court that sentenced lots of great men to prison and the firing squad. Africa has lost their great men, their elites, due to the justice system brought in by the foreign, invaders. And that is why Africa keeps going down every day, because no matter how bold and strong you are as an African, they will subject you to the justice system brought in by the white, controlled by their puppets in power, used to demoralize and cut off the head of emancipating voices from Africa. That has always been the pattern, to shut Africans up using the judiciary that they created in the first place. Now, justice is no more in the hands of Africans, but justice is in the hand of the oppressors. But thank God that the main Africans who know themselves know this and know that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. Likewise, all the great African leaders who have been subjected to this kind of treatment, who have been subjected to the death penalty, who have been subjected to life imprisonment, who have been taken out of this world by the justice system, created by the white man, not by Africans. So justice is not in the hands of Africans, it's in the hands of the invaders. Let me play you another video of the reactions in Biafra land and how they also reacted to this whole charade and hoax called a sentence. Watch this video.
As a tribal, the Yorubas and the Hausas, they hate the Igbos because that is an adoption. He was adopted from Kenya to here. He's not supposed to be judged. The judgment is supposed to go to Kenya. They just judge it here because it has an Igbo man. Nothing we can do. And they have done their wish.
I'm not happy. I can say that the Yorubas, they hate Igbos. They hate us. And they don't want to hear anything Biafra. That's why they put that judgment like that. They want to silence Biafra.
Don't warrant it. So many have killed people, killed the soldiers in the north, but they are going free. So what do you want us to do?
I didn't expect it at all. Didn't expect it. Because in the previous judgments, he's been set free. Now, what he was asking was that, what is the law for the judgment? What is he based on? That was his question. What was the basis of his, which law are they convicting him on? So that is, I'm not happy about it.
We have taken it the way they have done the judgment. So everything is best known by the federal government.
Of course, if it need be that he should appeal, then he should go ahead and appeal.
Bias. It's bias. So they didn't rule the thing in the way it's supposed to, where the thing is supposed to be. Trial now for Supreme Court now.
That says it all. The decision is unanimous. This is the Parliament of Africa speaking informed on what went wrong in the court. That is to show you that Omotosho does not represent the African people. He represents the imperialists and people who seek to conquer and take over our resources as African people and of course our lives. I have said this time without number. A judgment is supposed to solve a problem and not to create a controversy. African judges have always used their courts to create more problem in Africa than solve the problem in Africa. That is not what people go to judges to do. Wise King Solomon in the Bible was a judge on his own right because he was the wisest man alive. People go to judges because they believe that the wisest people are alive. And when they went to Solomon, Solomon solved problems and people were happier for it. The African justice system was the same. People go to the king's palace and the king call all the able-bodied, men and chiefs, and they sit together and they solve problems of community and people are happy for it. We even had a system where even the oracle was presented. So people don't tell lies before the justice system. People always speak the truth so they can use the truth to judge. So if you lied before the council so that you can get judgment for yourself, the oracle of the village will still come down for you because you misinformed the council who used that information to administer justice in your favor. That was how deep Africans go in seeking for justice. And people were happy for it. But all of a sudden, this judiciary system from the imperialists coming into Africa, promising to do better than our forefathers and do better than our ancestors, at the end of the day, only done well in cutting off our able-bodied men, throwing our youths to the prison, misjudging, maljudging, bringing in corruption, and disintegrating and denigrating the word called justice. End of the day, they give judgments that people do not even relate with, people can't even understand, and people don't even feel that they belong a part of. People, end of the day, people keep crying as a result of losing their property, losing their life, losing their freedom, and losing cases that was before their eyes a very clear case to be won. All because the judiciary in Africa is corrupt. But thank you, diasporans. Thank you, Africans, for speaking up for Martin and Kanu, for speaking up for the truth, because I can see clearly that this was a clear opinion of yours. Nobody biased anybody to speak this way. All of you spoke on your heart. And this is 9/10 of the people in Africa. The same word they will speak, the same thing they will say, because we are aware as Africans of the injustice going on using the judiciary. That is their object of attack now, the judiciary. The judiciary. But unfortunately, that judiciary is dead in Africa. Judiciary is dead in Africa. The Biafra to come is not going to make use of this pattern of judiciary. We're not going to wear wig and wear black gown. The Biafra to come, we are going to go back to community judication of matters, to community judiciary, where we sit together, in the village square and community, and table matters before our community and before our elders and before our society, and solve it amicably and enforce it amicably so that we can go back to the ways of our forefathers and people will be happy with judiciary. Because the judiciary we have now in Africa, somebody can wake up today and take your land, and judiciary will support that person. That is what is happening and can never happen. It will never happen in the Biafra of our dreams. That is true. Supporters family around the world, God bless you. Wherever you're watching me, God bless you. Till I see you next video, peace.